want to pretend he's got an opponent. It's 9:08, and we'll bring on in the Zoom room here Democrat candidate for Senator Chris Carillo. Good morning, Chris.
Morning, sir. Morning, Sabrina.
Hi. Good morning.
How are you guys?
We're doing pretty good. Thanks for joining us here, Chris. I just want to get this over with right off the bat here, and this is kind of when you announced. I know people were sending around the pictures. The government dismisses the case against you, and so this, I guess, kind of centered with. I'll just let you discuss it. How would you address that? Because it's a first-page Google, Chris, and I feel like it's going to come up during this campaign. So,
sure.
Yeah, just if you want to address this bust where it was something like you were, or allegedly, I don't even know how to use the word. And what?
Well, okay, we can address that now.
Okay.
Unfortunately, in 2013, I was accused of a crime. The courts found that the charges violated my civil rights, and they dismissed those charges with prejudice. But, it taught me a valuable lesson. First of all, I was in jail for 9 days, and I met a lot of different inmates, right? And it showed me that there are two kind of inmates that we have, and it actually made me more closer to my brother, who had spent time in Lompoc for 7 years for being an addict. And the one thing it taught me was violent criminals really need to be in prison or incarcerated. But there are a lot of people who make mistakes, are addicted to things, and those aren't really criminals, and they go to jail, and we warehouse these people. We don't provide adequate therapy, and they learn to become criminals. So it was an important exercise in my life. It was an unfortunate incident, but we're past that now, and marijuana is now legal. So I think that we need to normalize its use, and let everyone know that it's not a bad thing, that people like it, and if they do it responsibly like any other thing, then it should be fine.
So do you feel like you were targeted because of your, obviously you got political affiliations, or on the flip side of that, just to address it, do you think that you were given preferential treatment?
Well, certainly I wasn't given preferential treatment because my bill was $250,000. I'm not going to cast aspersions on anyone or any law enforcement agencies. They felt they were doing what they're supposed to have been doing. They did their job. My attorney did his job, and we're moving on from there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. You mentioned a little bit about your experiences and your brother with the criminal justice system. And so I wanted to ask about whether or not that's something that we're going to see you kind of focusing on, the recidivism rate over at the Department of Corrections, things like that.
Well, certainly I'm an advocate for trying to change the way we rehabilitate our prisoners. A lot of these people who are in prison, especially for drug offenses, nonviolent drug offenses, we should really take a more active role and trying to rehabilitate them, teach them job skills, get them treatment that they so, they're very vulnerable when they're addicts. And we just need to do a better job at making our people who make mistakes, giving them a second chance, and trying to get them to become productive members of our society, because at the end of the day, we're all one community, and no one here on island has been untouched by drug addiction. Everyone has someone in their family, everyone has a close friend that's addicted, and we just have to do better as a community. Right. And it's really a community effort.
Right, but it just seems like there is this vicious cycle, because we talk about rehabilitation programs, but we don't necessarily have enough rehabilitation programs on Guam. So you see people that are addicts, they try to get help, and then they become an addict again, and they're committing crimes, and they're back in DOC, then they're let out, and then they're back committing crimes. You see what I'm saying? It just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle, Bree, and there's no one silver bullet that's going to fix it, right? I know DOC tries, they have the RSAT program out there where before they get out, they put these people in treatment to make sure that when they get out, they're going to go and stay out of prison. The problem is people get institutionalized also. And this is one thing, I had a conversation with my brother. He told me that, he woke up at 5, they worked out, they ate breakfast, they took a shower, then they hung out, and people get comfortable, especially people who spend a lot of time in prison. Even if it's for nonviolent offenses, they get acclimated to living that kind of lifestyle. So we have to show everyone that there's a better life for them out there. And if they stay strong and stay off of the stuff, right? They need support from their families. They need support from their friends. They got to take themselves out of the situations that tempt them. And it's an important issue to me. It's very important. And it's something I'm going to work on if I'm elected.
Right.
To make sure that we get treatment. Yes.
No, I'm just saying that's good to hear that we're going to have somebody in there if you are elected, concentrating on these sorts of issues. But what else do you plan on focusing on if you're elected into the 36th Guam legislature?
Well, one of the most important things to me is that I want to give as much people access to healthcare as possible. So I've been talking to the insurance companies. I've been talking to my friends in the legislature, friends in politics. And one thing that I want to do is there's the Guam Contractors Association, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Women's Chamber all have group plans where their members can get together and collaborate and procure health insurance to try and drive the costs down. My idea would be to have a cooperative that can be subsidized by the government to get all the private employees. There's 6,000 people in Tumon that work at the Dusit and all the other hotels down there. There are another 3,000 people that work in restaurants and bars. And if we can get these people to procure health insurance together, not only will we drive the premiums down, but we improve the quality of service and the benefits that they're provided as well. So that would be one big thing that I want to do. And then also I want to work on getting the government to work more effectively for the people by implementing new technological ideas. Like I was in Hawaii for my dad's funeral a few months ago, and I went to Safeway supermarket, and my brother walked in and he renewed his registration at Safeway. Took him 3 minutes. I mean, those are things we can do. Small things so we can get the people out of the lines at Rev and Tax. Right. And, being at home with their families or just not having to deal with that. And small little things like that, incremental changes that we can make to the way we do things will go a long way to foster a better relationship between the residents and the government.
So we're going to see the Chris Carillo get your new driver's license at Chuddy Mart bill?
Look, that's not even a bill I need to write, right? The administration could make that change right now if they wanted to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's not a bill. These are just ideas, and we need to. And I know that government employees a lot of times feel like if we implement new technology, that means I'm not going to have a job. I'm not a proponent of laying off any GovGuam employees because I feel that you're just adding to the systemic problem of unemployment that we got going on right now. I'm saying let's take those people that are serving at the front lines of Rev and Tax, and we can put them in the back where we can be more actively collecting the taxes that are owed. I think that there's a lot of tax revenue that's out there that the government could capture, and that would allow us to hire more public safety officers. It would allow us to hire more teachers and nurses so that we can provide the critical needs that we need to provide to the residents. And it's just being intelligent and getting rid of some redundancy and using technology to work for us.
Chris, how would you address maybe a twofold question? What people talk about with the Democratic supermajority, not really policing the Democrat administration, and then also if you could maybe address, are you a supporter of special interest legislation, and what's your opinion on that?
Well, certainly I think that this administration has called out that this legislature has called out the administration. I mean, even during the Calvo times, I never seen BJ Cruz calling oversight on the governor's office. So, that was rather unprecedented. We've called out, we've had oversight hearings on the Department of Labor. Me personally, if I see something that's contravenes law or is looking towards something that corrupt, that can be my best friend or anyone, I feel it's my responsibility as an employee of the people of Guam to make sure I hold them accountable. And, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm sure both of you know, but I worked for BJ for a long time. And BJ always told me, Chris, we got to hold our friends even we gotta make sure that we watch our friends closer than we watch our opponents. We gotta make sure that our friends are held accountable, and if that means calling oversight hearings on departments that I'm friendly with or whatever, I'm still gonna have to do it, because the people of Guam have a right to know what's going on in their government and how their tax dollars are being spent.
Chris, you worked for the public auditor B.J. Cruz when he was a senator. You're a staffer now for Senator Pito Terlahi. What was that
Yes.
moment where it went from being the behind the scenes guy to, I want my name out there, I want to run?
It was a combination of things, really, Chris. Okay, so now, you guys know I came from the legislature when it was a different kind of style of legislature. It was different. People cooperated behind the scenes. They came up with agreements. They didn't go on the floor and have 500 recesses and amendments and things like that. And one thing that I know is that while all of the senators in the 35th really do care about the constituents and want to do their best, a lot of them are new at this, and they haven't been in the building, and they haven't seen how legislatures work. So although I'm a new face and I have my own ideas, I do understand the legislative process. So I think that one of the things that I just know how to get things done. I've done it in the private sector, I've done it in the public sector, and I've done it in music for 30 years. You don't play music for 30 years if, you don't know how to cooperate with other people in a band. So
Yeah, I couldn't even last 3 months. Sorry.
and you look at some of the guys I play with, like Mike Rass, he's a different kind of cat, but I can get along with him as long as we focus on doing the right things the right way.
Right.
Well, can you just, for people who don't know that you are a musician, just
Right.
a little bit more about your background,
Your personal background.
right? Because
yeah.
you kind of have a little bit of an accent, but
Oh, brother,
Bro,
you're the kind.
I'm
Oh, brother.
I got to work really hard to try and cover up my accent, because I come from a small island called Kauai, where we only get 40,000 people, and our pidgin is really bad there. So I really try and speak as well as I can. But I grew up on Kauai. I went to college, started playing music part-time, and then I started getting asked to go on tour with some people like Shauna Oau and Brother Walter Manao Company. And once in my third year of college, I kind of said, man, I'm doing okay just playing music. I don't think I got to do college, which was a mistake in retrospect. But music and life and politics all have a lot in common, right? It's all about collaboration. It's all about letting the best ideas come out. Like, I can say I want to do a break this way, and if you come in and say, no, this is how we're going to do it, and then we try it all out and we see what fits, and then that's how we do it when we get live. So they do mirror each other, but music has been a vehicle for me to have a platform for a long time in Hawaii and also here on Guam. I've been political ever since I moved here. I married a local girl from Jonya. We have 3 kids. 2 already graduated from FD. 1 son chose that he wants to go to distance learning. And he actually chose to leave private school this year and go to public school because he heard that the distance learning program that the DOE was going to have was better than the distance learning they were going to have at his private school. So I'm happy for that. But, I'm very blessed. I've been blessed with some opportunities here. My wife and I own some small businesses I've been blessed. So really, if I can do anything, I want to make sure that Guam is a better place for my son, for all of our kids, and then we really, really look at how we can make the government work more effectively for the people. And that's really, at the end of the day, that's why I'm running for senator.
Chris, we got 2 minutes here. Are you
What?
ready for the close? Go ahead.
Yeah. We've got 2 minutes for your final closing on why people should vote for you.
Okay. Well, first of all, Sabrina, Jason, and Chris, I want to thank you for the opportunity to come on this program and share my ideas and my viewpoints and a little bit about myself. But look, I'm a small business owner. I'm a dad. I've served a lot of public servants that understand how to get things done. I do understand that being a senator is an important job, and if you afford me the one of your votes, I can make a few promises to you. Number one, that I'm going to work hard. I work hard for you every single day to make sure that I'm listening to your concerns, your wants and needs, and do what I can to be a proponent for you. Number two, that I'm going to treat the office with the respect and integrity that the office deserves. And number three, no matter if we have a Republican majority or a Democratic majority, or whatever candidates you select as senator, I'm going to work with them together to make sure that the best policy comes out and that we are able to serve the people in an efficient way and that we take care of everyone, because at the end of the day, we work for you. And, we need to remember that every day, that we work for the people of Guam, and we need to deliver the best quality services we can to them at the lowest tax rates that we can. And that they're safe. We have enough nurses in the hospitals. We have enough firemen. We have enough police officers and customs people to make sure that we're interdicting drugs at the border. These are all responsibilities that we have as leaders. And I hope you give me one of your vote. I am number 15 on the Democratic side. And thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you,
Thanks
Chris.
a lot, Chris.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank
We'll
you, guys.
see you
Wash
after
your
the
hands.
primary.
Yeah. 9:24. Let's keep it in the Zoom room because I know there's a session. You might have heard they're working on the budget. That being said, let's